Good evening. Welcome, everyone. I see I've got Jennifer. Jennifer, welcome. Thank you for coming through. And just another welcome. So, welcome, guys. I'm Transformation Coach Mashudu Mbele. I'm also a credit repair coach. I'm excited to be here this evening. If you're new in my live. So welcome, and to those who have just joined, welcome. So just say hi so that I know I'm not by myself. So it's an honor to be here with you. So just say hi as well. And if you're listening in from my YouTube, so do like and subscribe so that next time this video, similar videos, you can just receive them, they'll just show. And do like as well and share. So today I'll be talking about symptoms of debt problems. So I'm excited to be talking about this topic. And before I talk about it, I don't know, here in Richards Bay, the weather, I just feel like it's too personal. So I'm not sure where you are. How is the weather? It's so cold. It's like the wind is like it's piercing through my body. So when I was going to pick up the kids, I was like, oh my way, just getting out of the car and just walking around the yard. It was quite interesting just to feel the cold. So I don't know where you are. Are you feeling the same effects? And we're just having a chat with my sister. We're like, spring is starting on the 1st of September. She says, no, we normally know it's August and then spring starts on the 23rd of September. That is when we can feel the real spring. So I don't know how you are, how wherever you are, how it is. So I'll read on the comments. And once more, thank you for coming and just taking the time to be with us. So let me get the ball rolling. Last week I spoke about, so Tuesdays are going to be where I'm talking about debt, credit repair, and everything else. And then last week I spoke about credit repair, and I trust you have listened to that video. If you haven't it's also available on my YouTube and all my social media accounts. And I also shared about the financial fitness guide and quiz. So I'll also share the link so you can complete. You can click the link and then we'll send you the financial fitness guide. And it has got a quiz so that you can see where you are in terms of your debt. And I'm here to help you. As a credit repair coach, I'm here to help you fix your credit, also so that, and also to improve, to pay off, to help you how to pay off your debts, and also to improve your credit score. And for you to be, once your credit score is improved, we are able to apply for business funding, and also you're able to apply for home ownership or for a vehicle. But we need to make sure that your credit score is fine. And how do we do that? It's not about me saying you do this. It's also coaching you, understanding your behaviors in terms of your money, your emotions, and what is the relationship with money. Because as I shared, you might be someone who's earning 100,000 and there's someone who's earning 10,000, and the one with 100,000, by today is the 30th, some are getting paid tomorrow, some were paid on the 25th, some on the 15th. You realize after a day the money is gone, because it depends on what is your relationship with money. It's not about your role or how much you earn, because you realize as you earning more, you just acquire more debt, you are unhappy, you're miserable, but there's so much money coming into your account. So it's not about how much you earn, it's about the relationship that you have with money. So welcome, Paul. Thank you. Welcome. I'm not sure who else have joined us on other social media. So just say hi so that I know who's here with me. So today's topic is gonna be brief, but my okay. Hi, Coach Hetty. Welcome. So the topic today is about what are the symptoms of a debt problem? How would you know that you've got a debt problem? And when I thought about this topic, and I had another discussion earlier in the afternoon with another coach, we were talking about funeral policies, and I'll do a live as well in the coming weeks about what I've learned about funeral policies. Hi, Shikani, welcome. And it was an eye opener. So today, after I had that discussion with her, she just told me, I just told her how, and then she was looking at how I've been throwing away money to this insurance. And I just said, I'm just going to take whatever she's telling me with a and just accept it and cry about it and just release. So when I share about it, I'll bring tissues and we'll cry, and you'll also realize there are so many people like me. But I'm glad that today I had the aha moment. But I'll share that on another life. But today's one is about understanding the symptoms of deaths so that you're quite aware of them so that you can do something about it as well. So, one may ask, what is debt? Debt is basically having an outstanding money or borrowed money that you need to pay from your income. So, it's basically I would say it's an imprison of your earnings because you have to pay back the money. Because when you receive it, yes, it's there in the account, you swipe and you buy what you need, but at the end of the month, you really need to pay back that money. So that is what debt is all about. So it's about borrowing money from the income that you have, and then you pay what we call the creditors, those people who have given you the debt. So there's that terminology that you need to be aware of. So, and then you'll feel bad. And when it comes to yourself and the relationship with money, the more you increase your debt, the more you're going to be a miserable person and you will be unhappy. And part of me being a credit repair coach is so that for you to have financial freedom and peace when we have looked in your overall financial situations. And let's start. Hi, Nomusa, welcome, welcome. And Bumi, welcome, welcome, guys. Let me see on Instagram. Okay, so we still have point Jennifer. So welcome, guys. And also ask questions. If you've got any questions, do type them and I'll respond on them. So what is one of the symptoms that will say that you have debt is that you will have missed payments. And what are missed payments is that this month you might pay and next month you don't pay. And and when you do that, or 2 months you don't pay because of other financial pressures that you might have. There might have been a death in the family, or there might have been another emergencies. That is why also it's important to have an emergency fund, which is also on the guide that I shared about, which is the financial fitness guide. So if so, I'll share the link and you click, and then we'll send you that financial fitness guide, and it will show also you'll also learn about the finance lingo and the metrics and what you need to do so that you are financially fit. So you find that the money that is coming in is it's less than what you need to pay for your debts because you're always acquiring. You might be someone who don't know how to read your statements. You just swipe and you find that there are creditors will call and say there's this, and then you just take a call and say yes, I want that, but you haven't looked at your budget, you haven't looked at everything that you'll be able to pay for that. And some people, when they miss payments, they don't realize it's a problem. They just say, it's okay, but that affects your credit score because your credit score in terms of your finances, it look even employers, I understand, they also look at your credit score. So it might even affect you being employed and also accessing other financial products that you really need. And when you miss payments, what happens? Creditors start adding penalties, and these penalties can be more interest that you need to pay. So you're in this financial situation, you miss payment, and there's more penalties that you need to pay for. And just imagine being in that conundrum. How would you feel about that? So it's not a nice thing to be in. So what do you need? You'll need intervention in terms of how you manage that. And you need to be aware because one of the things that one need to realize when they have a problem is to acknowledge the problem. If you don't acknowledge it, you just say, just creditors, we'll see. So that is the first one. So I'm just going to share more as well. And you might. So are you someone who's overspending? That is another symptom of overspending. So you find that there's more money going out and less money going in. Because remember, you're an entity. So when you're an entity, for me, I remember even before I left my work, I used to be worried about money. I said, if if I leave my work, I won't have money to pay for this and to pay for that. But at the end of the day, it was about looking at what needs to be paid, how I structure my money, and looking at other options. So your money, you need to take it as an entity, and you need to have a relationship because money is energy as well. So if you are overspending, what are the things that you can do to manage your overspending? Is also having a rigid, I would say, a rigid plan or budget that you need to look at. You acknowledge that yes, I'm overspending. I remember in June, I realized I was overspending, and I could see that I was overspending. I'm like, what is really happening? And I had to journal those emotions because everything that we do is related with how we are feeling, and it's related with our behavior, it's related with our, and I just journaled and said, oh, yes, now I'm aware that I'm overspending here. So I need to do something. So, what is it that I'm numbing? What is it that I'm not being aware of? So, those are the things that one has to look at. And then also, you need to find ways on how you can trim your spending as well, or increase. And increasing, and you could be having a side hustle so that it supplements your income. You could join network marketing, and I'm a network marketer as well. I know people come to my DMs and they offer me products. I've been doing network marketing since 2016, so I do sell products, and I realize when people do that, there's skills, there's foundation in network marketing. Maybe I can just add it, and there's someone who's doing network marketing as part of the side hustle, and they want to make, you need to create a relationship with a person. You cannot just say it's because somebody accepted your friend request, then you start sending or just poking them. It's not really nice. So you need to look at them, understand them, who they are, what they do, because all they are doing when they buy the products, they're buying you, they're not buying the products. So how would I come and buy to someone who does not even say hi or whatever, create that relationship? Because whatever you sell, it's about serving. It's about whatever product you sell, it's about serving, and you need to serve from the heart and enjoy, and not just make it like people. And I remember one of them, he made even judgments of me, telling me about Luno and all that. I was like, I have been doing Luno in my own way. So you're already making judgments of when I was like, I've been doing this for the past year. So don't make assumptions. So when you go to people's DMs and all that, don't make assumptions. People, they don't share everything about them in social media. So create that relationship and understand who they are as well. Then you can start selling your products because you're selling yourself. So it's like the center, because social media is like your home. So if you're doing that, it just says, "No, I don't want to come to your home." So just be careful of that and have the approach of how you approach people on DMs as well, and how you communicate your product. And also, when I check those people, I go to their socials, they don't even talk about the product that they want me to join or to sell. So those are the things that are quite important. So you can have a side hustle, and the side hustle, it has to be something that you believe in. Because even if you come to my DM, you tell me about it, and you don't believe in, you're just doing it for the money, it's wrong. So when find the side hustle that makes you wake up and get excited to sell it. So do that. And also, one another symptom is relying on overdraft. I used to do it as well, and I'll say, by the time after 5 days, my money when I was still working would disappear because I've paid debt, I'm indebted, I've done that. Then I look at the overdraft, and the banks, the moment you pay, they just increase the overdraft. And I'm sorted. But that was the false theory of saying I'm sorted. I'm still owing the bank because I need to pay back that overdraft. So it could be that you are relying on overdraft. So ask yourself today, in terms of the symptoms that I've shared so far, there's more that I'm still gonna share. It's missing payment. It's also overspending and relying on your overdraft. Where are you? Is it 3 out of 3? Is it 2 out of 2? Is it 1 out of 1? 1 out of 3. Even if it's one, you need intervention. You need to do something about it. And we are about to go into December, so December is not far away. So it's about 4 months away. So you need to start fixing your debt, your credit and everything, so that December there's this thing naturally of overspending. And 1 out of 3, I see there's a 1 out of 3. So December, there's that thing of overspend. It just happens naturally. So what I've done, I learned, because where I used to work, we didn't have a 13th check. So I also run a savings club, which we have been doing since 2009. We are a group of wonderful ladies all over the country, and we save that money so that we have extra money in December to manage all these expenses that come out of nowhere. And we get excited, and I see also the savings. It's so amazing. So that is what you could do also. So that money is also, when it comes, we pay school fees, we settle that. So if you want to be part of our club, do let me know. And as well, there are also penalties so that he can instill the discipline. So this also helps us with overspending and say, okay, the money came, when it's gone that one in December. And we don't have calculations. I know in our club there are ladies as well who've got kids in university, and then when university opens, school fees is paid. It's so amazing the discipline that you have. So that is quite exciting. So as well, what are the other symptoms? That you make late payments, and that is not good, because on a monthly basis, creditors, they send your details in terms of your payment to the credit bureau. I don't know if you have seen your credit score report. And also, just to remind you, you do qualify for a one free credit report once a year. And if you don't know how to read it, also part of me being a credit repair coach is also to help you understand that. And you find that in that report, there's your details, your work, how you have moved, your addresses, and also there are statements. You find that there's judgment as well. It could be court judgments as well, and the defaults, or you have had bankruptcy. So that report is quite detailed, and it's quite important to receive it, because for me, I normally I get it, for free during my birthday month, which is January. So even with January being a birthday month, I had to be strategic, because mostly people, they don't have money in January. So it's to also have saved money so that I can have a cake, I can celebrate my birthday, and not get on social media. You see on social media, people will put bread and a candle and say happy birthday to all us who are born in January. So it's to minimize that, and I still laugh at those memes. Am I saying it right? We always argue with my sister about that. So one doesn't have. So it's important that you plan and you have a realistic budget as well. Yes, Lerat. Ah, so what is another symptom is that you find that debtors are always calling you, and you look at that 087 number and you don't want to answer. So those are one another symptom of debt problems. So it could be that. And now with caller ID, you just look at the number and you wait, or you just block. So that could be one of them. And another thing which is also affects us in terms of debt is also having many loans. I've been there. I know how it feels having to worry. And people say, when are your finances are fine, but they don't know what is happening in my bank account on a monthly basis, who's taking money. So it also affects you, because it affects it. You find that you've got anxiety, you've got depression, you can't sleep, you just have got all these illnesses and the disease that we create in terms of in our lives as well. And then also one another symptom is about lying about money, not being honest with your families. Like if you've been a breadwinner, or yeah, this super person who's always helping everyone, and there's a time maybe you are money and you've got more debt and you cannot service other people and give them the money. Yes, the fear. Yes, Coach Bonisa, the fear of answering the unknown numbers tells you what's happening. So you find you hide the truth about your financial situation from you hide the truth from your friends and from your family. So that is one of the symptoms as well. And you don't sleep. You tell me you if you're coming to me, you're only sleeping 2 hours because you're worried. Like if you check on Enabler Solutions, Goose Duma, for those who watch Duma, I don't know, the millennials might not know about it. We had Ulaqasha. Yeah, Laqasha. I think I'm pronouncing very well. We had a long stick and then we'll go to Stuma and pay. So debtors are like that. And when they come, yes, it's not a nice feeling. And that guy, when we used to watch growing up, you just see Stuma is in so much anxiety and pain and doesn't know what to do. And he hides himself all the time. So you find that if one of the problems that you avoid having those discussions about it, we're able to talk about anything but accept it. And one thing that we wake up mostly is to make money. But when it's there and we are acquiring all this, we're buying, we are so scared because of our beliefs and our conditions that we inherited whilst growing up. And it's time to start releasing them and having a straight talk with them and understanding as well. And you find that you avoid your financial condition because there are people who are aware of their issues and they just say, I know, and they just avoid and just things like things will go away. Things won't go away. We are adults, we need to resolve them. And part of being a human being is to solve problems because we are here to solve problems, different problems daily. We are maneuvering, doing things. We have got so many priorities. We are solving problems on a daily basis. And one of them is the finances. And if you are unable to do that, there is help. And that is what I've learned, even with myself. There are things that I can't do, and I've got a team of coaches who really help me as well, like also in terms of my social media, my spirituality, looking good, how to portray myself, even speaking. So I have to improve in terms of speaking. I was doing one of the course interns, it's called the facilitator course, so that I'm accredited by CETA. And I had to, one of the assignments was to present and for those organize a Zoom session and invite people. And part of the feedback they had to give me was to write things I can improve on, not the things that I'm good at. And one of them was a tone of voice and how I change myself. So I'm improving on that. And if you have been listening to my lives in the past, just let me know how am I improving that? Because one has to grow. So if we are not growing, we are dying, and change is constant. So we need to grow and be better human beings. So, are you still with me? Are you following me? Is it making sense? So far, what is something that has stood up for you? I'd like to hear before I share the other one. And I've got a calculation that I would like you to do, which will just open your eyes. And after this session, you need to go and check your credit statements or your bank statements and see in terms of this calculation. Is it making sense, guys? Yes, Lerato says it's making sense. Yes. Okay, I'm still following. Thank you. What is it that is what is was I'm I'm guilty of most? Thank you, Lerato. Just saying that being vulnerable is part of acknowledgement, and it takes a lot of guts for you to even type that. And well done. Just to acknowledge. And when you do that, you start what we call when I speak about coaching, you start getting in touch with the neural path, the neurons within your body, just to acknowledge that, and it's part of transformation and on your way to be a better person. Because when you do that, you're able to manage your problems much better. Thank you so much for doing that. So grab your pens. So there's this calculation that you can do to check how are you in terms of your debt? So one of the things that people do, you find that they make minimum payments a month, and you find that just doing that because they don't understand the interest rate that has been put in the product that they bought, and they are always paying, it affects them, and you find that they are continuing paying. Yes, they are continuing paying, and they are not aware, and this debt is continuing for the next 7 years, and for them it becomes part, and you can't do that because you need to channel that money to other things and be better. So what you can do, you can calculate about 20%. So take pen, calculate about 20% of your income that you get, the income that comes to your bank account. So just calculate that. You take 20%. And then after that, after this session, go to your credit statement or to your bank statement and calculate all the monies that you pay. So you calculate all the minimum payments that you pay on a monthly basis. Once you've got that true sum, so you've got 20% that you calculated from what you receive on a monthly basis, and then now that you've got the total of how much you pay, and you compare the true sum. So if the money that you are paying in terms the monthly payments is higher than the 20%, you're in trouble. So it just shows that you've got issues, you've got a debt problem. So already you've got a red flag. So a red flag, it means you need to have an intervention, you need to do something about it, and so that you can improve. And saying that I'm not gonna do anything for years, I'm not gonna do anything. So yeah, I hear you might be here in this life, and there's been something say you need to do something. So today I'm encouraging you, do something. You still have so much time to, you can still fix the current financial situation that you're in. Because if you don't, you find that it's going to affect your housing, it's going to affect your groceries, and there'll be just drama in your house. Besides the financial drama, you'll have relationship issues. You'll have, Jennifer says, is in trouble. So Jennifer, we need to chat. So we need to chat. You need to do something. You need to have an intervention. So what I'm encouraging you today is that you can do something, and you realize when one does a consultation, you realize there's so much that you can do. Because at times when we have a problem, we get overwhelmed. You say, I've been trying to do it by myself, but what I've learned with my journey is that you need to get help, find help from the experts, and then it's easier to solve your problems much quicker as well. So you need to have a strategy. If you are having this, it's either you have a side hustle that you start having a tighter budget, and you might find that you don't know how to create a budget. And part of having a coach is I'll help you in terms of how to create a budget, and look at it. You have to be strict, and you have to take ownership, and you have to be committed. Because when you come to me and you're committed, we are wasting our time, because that 1 hour or the 2 hours I could be investing there to someone who's ready to do the work. So part of acknowledging and say, I'm ready, it helps as well. So I've shared now the symptoms of debt, and if you relate to them, just, I know you can go and cry today and just acknowledge it's fine. So do that. So look at those what I've shared. Where are you? Are you I forgot to count how many in my notes, but there are so many. Just look at where you are and just acknowledge it. Even if you got one, it means you need intervention before it becomes bigger. So it's like having a wound, and this wound, you just look at it and say, today I'm gonna put plaster 1, and then tomorrow is plaster 2, and then it's plaster 3, and then it starts piling up. There's 100 plasters. So today, listening to this, it means we need to start removing the plaster and look at the past and start cleaning and healing the wound. And part of that is acknowledging and taking action and say you need help. So what can you do is to acknowledge your debt problem and be honest with yourself. At times we're not honest because we are comparing ourselves with the Jones, we're comparing ourselves with others, and people, something money, finance is something that they never talk about. And as well, you find that in relationships, in marriages, it's something that makes people to break up, to divorce, finances, because of their relationship that they have with money, because money is energy. And depending on your energy is how long it will stay with you and what the relationship you have with it. So you need to start making the positive change. So yeah, in the negative now, you need to start making positive change. And then also, if you feel like your debt, you just want, you can do something. You can reach out to your creditors yourself and you tell them about your financial situation and you look at repayment plans that you can have. But when you do that, it's important that you commit, because the moment you default, then your credit doesn't look fine. It will look skew and they'll start putting more penalties. So you need to commit. So it's bad. I see Lizzie said it's bad. So you can have that discussion with them so that you can have more favorable terms. And then another thing you can do, might say mine is not bad, it's one. So is you create a rigid budget that you can follow. And if you can't, you can speak to me. And also I'll also be opening a club in terms of those who are joining, so that we've got a support club, because daily we go through so much challenges. Being an adult is, it's exciting, it's challenging, and it has got its own dramas. We go through ups and downs on a daily basis. And when you're in a community where you're supported, you feel much better. You don't judge yourself. You realize other people have got bigger issues than you, and you even forget the titles and whatever you have learned about money, and you start viewing things and money differently as well. So you can also start a side hustle. So earlier I spoke about network marketing. You can sell products, and you might find that you've got these talents and gifts. You can also start creating something and selling, and you realize if you're creating something and selling and you're doing it from the heart, it's easier to serve people and people will get excited, because we are all energy. So if you're selling and you're blue, you're grumpy, I won't come and sell. I want to see the positivity so that I can enjoy. Because when you give me, when I buy that product with negative energy, you're just going to give it to me. So you need to vibrate higher and have that positive energy. So another thing also is, go and get help. Speak to me. Speak to me as a credit repair coach, or you can speak to a debt counselor or anyone, but get a professional to help you. So I trust by sharing this in terms of symptoms of debt problems, it has made you realize as well where you are. So as you are listening to this, just from what I've just said up to this far, reflect where you are in terms of your money problems, in terms of your debt. And I just want to remind you today that there is something that you can do in terms of your debt. You can change your situation. So it's not all hell and glue. And also, as well, you can also request, I'll share a link after here. You can request the financial fitness guide and the quiz, and then you can see and learn new tools about that. So guys, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I trust you have learned something. So do share this on your timeline so that someone, because most South Africans are indebted. And what I've learned as well, as much as I'm a professional, there's so much that I didn't know about money, about finances and credit. So I'm learning daily, and I'll continue sharing the knowledge so that we can improve, because part of learning is creating awareness, because when we are aware and we've got the knowledge, we are able to make informed decisions that will help yourself and those around you and your families to make better choices, so that you can move to a path of financial peace and financial freedom. And yeah, thank you guys. And if you've got any questions, just type them and then I'll come back and share with you. And before we go, what was the one thing that stood out for you? So do share with me so that we know, and also tag your friends as well. And I know as well some friends will talk about money, so tag them so that they can come and hear these nuggets, because it's time to change. We cannot continue with what is happening, because we need to contribute to our to the competitiveness of our country, of our world, and it starts with us, how we manage money. And I saw over the weekend there was the uh, I think it's the property. There was a property show which was in Joburg, and it was talking about, also there was a comment that I read on one of this of the posts talking about Stokvel, how much there's 50 billion that get saved in terms of Stokvels in South Africa. It just shows that, and are you part of the Stokvel community? So ask yourself that question. Yes. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, Huba, for the feedback. Lerato, yes, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So you're not alone. So let's start helping you so that you can sleep better, so that you can minimize your anxiety, you can minimize your depression, and you start reaching that path of financial peace and freedom. So once more again, I help you to with your credit and your debt, to manage your debt much better as well. And it's not about, is that consultation also teaching you, also creating a payment plan, looking at your holistic financial situation so that you can better. Thank you, Matsiliso, for coming through. You're welcome. So guys, enjoy your evening. Thank you. And do share on your timelines. There is somebody who needs, you might find that just reading this, just creating that awareness, as much as the person might not take action today, but they are aware and a seed has been planted. And that is all I want to do this. That is all I was doing this evening, to plant a seed and create awareness so that we are better human beings, so that you sleep much better. Thank you. So how do we get in touch with me? I'm just gonna, so you can send me a WhatsApp on 061 518 3208. And then I'll also just share now, when I finish, I'll just add my poster, which has got all the details. I'll do it as soon as I end this live as well. So you can reach out to me. And I also share the link, which I promised, in terms of how you can get the guide of financial. So even that guide you learn, because even when I learned about it, I'm like, what? I am an entity, and these are the things that I learned in 20. When I was at Gibbs, I learned about, I did financial management, and you do these reports. And I'm like, oh, now I have to do this for my finances. And I just thought you just do it in a company, or if you own a company, but you're just an entity at the end of the day, and you need to be aware of those metrics for you to manage your money much better, and you sleep better when you're aware. Because if you are waking up daily, working, and you don't know where your money is, and you cannot trend, it, whether is it going up or down. Yeah, you're not gonna be okay. You won't sleep well. Yeah, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Remember to share. And if you are on YouTube, subscribe and like, so that you're able to get these videos automatically next time. Thank you. Bye bye.